Hello. Can one go traveling on Chol HaMoed Sukkot, where he doesn't have a sukkah with him? Can he go to vacation? It's time to rejoice with the family and to go out. The person doesn't want to stay home. He wants to go and take the family to different places. Is that permitted on Chol HaMoed Sukkot? Well, there's two issues here. One is an issue and a question on the day, and one on the night. And I'll explain. There is a Gemara in Masechet Sukkah, Daf Kaf Vav Amud Aleph. The Gemara says the following: Tanu Rabbanan Olchei Drachim Bayom Pturim Min HaSukkah Bayom V'Chavim Balayla. Those that travel during the day, they're exempt from a sukkah during the day and they're obligated at night. If they travel at night, Olchei Drachim Balayla Pturim Min HaSukkah Balayla Chavim Bayom. If they travel at night, they are patur from the sukkah at night and they are obligated at the day. And if they travel day and night, says the Gemara, they patur, they exempt from the sukkah day and night. Rashi says, what does it mean, Olchei Drachim Pturim? He explains that just like we found that it says in the Torah, Teshvu, Chachamim Doresh, Chachamim learn from that, Teshvu Ken Taduru, just like in your house. You sit in your house whenever you want to be in your house, and whenever you want to leave, you're permitted to leave. Therefore, a person is allowed to go traveling even though he doesn't have a sukkah and eat outside the sukkah, because that's a normal way of a person's life. And just like in his house, he would leave the house whenever he wants. He would come back to his house whenever he wants. Sometimes he eats out. He eats at the car. He eats out at the park. Whatever it is, that's not, a person is not obligated throughout the year to sit in his house and eat his meals. Same thing on Sukkot. And that's why, for instance, there's a question, how could you be mafkia mina mitzvah? Person is not allowed to take away his obligation of the mitzvah. He knows that he's going to have a mitzvah to eat in the sukkah, and he's mafkia atzmo mina mitzvah. He takes that away from him. He eliminates that mitzvah. Such a thing is permitted on Sukkot because of that pasuk. Teshvu ken taduru. You have to be and dwell in the sukkah just like you do in your house. You leave the sukkah just like you leave the house whenever you want. But Rashi adds over here a word, and he says, "Dichtiv basukot teshvu ke'en yeshivat beito kashem shekol hashana eno nimna milechet bederech beschora kach kol yemot hachag," which means just like a person goes on business for work, so is in the holiday. And what does that Rashi means for business? Is it only for his livelihood, for business, for work? Is he allowed to live this and eat outside the sukkah? Otherwise, he's not allowed to travel for pleasure, like vacationing. Or it's just an example. We found that to be a machloket in the Achronim. And that would be considered a safek in the Torah, what a person should do. Many learn that a person is permitted to go and travel to vacation, and that's only an example, just like he does in his house. So Moshe Feinstein writes a tshuva, and he says that a person is only permitted to go if he goes for work, not for vacation. He's not allowed to leave for vacation. That's not permitted. Chacham Ovadia in Yechavedat agrees with him, and he says the same way as well. But as I explained, many argue and they say that that's a chidush, it's something that we never heard before, and the simple meaning of the Gemara is that a person could go, just like he lives in his house whenever he wants to go to vacation, he could go to vacation, same as here. This is how Rav Eliashiv writes in a couple of places. This is how Rav Nissim Karelitz writes, although Rav Nissim Karelitz says that it's permitted, but he says one shouldn't miss out on such a great mitzvah. Although it's permitted, but you're losing out on such a great mitzvah, it's foolish. Rav Asher Weiss writes such a thing, and Rav Steinbuch in Tshuvot V'Anakot says the same idea, and many other poskim. And therefore comes out that majority of the poskim would hold that a person is allowed to go with his family. You want to go to a park, you want to go to somewhere nice on Chol HaMoed, you want to go to the zoo. Meanwhile, you have to eat. They would say it's fine and permitted to do such a thing. This is when we deal with the day. Now, the night is a different question, and let's see how the halacha comes out at Siman Taf Rosh Mem in Shulchan Aruch. The halacha says in סעיף ה' הולכי דרכים ביום פטורים מן הסוכה ביום, חייבים בלילה, הולכי דרכים בלילה, פטורים בלילה וחייבים ביום, just like we learned in the Gemara. As long as you're traveling, you are patur, you're exempt, but once you get to your place of sleep, let's say you're in a hotel, then could be that you're obligated, because it says balayla chayavim. As long as you're not traveling at night, you're obligated. So the Rama adds over here a few words. He says, dafka shiuchlu limtzo sukkah, only if you are able to find a sukkah. אבל אם אינם מוצאים סוכה, but if you can't find a sukkah at the place you are, יוכלו ללך לדרכם, you could continue going, אף שלא ישבו בה לא יום ולא לילה. כשאר ימות השנה שלא מניח דרכו משום ביתו. If you can't find a sukkah, you're allowed to keep on traveling, whether it's day and night, just like in your house. You wouldn't stop from going and traveling, same as here. ואף על פי שאינו הולך רק ביום, פטור אף בלילה, שאין לו לעשות שם דירה. Even when you are resting in a hotel or motel or inn or wherever it is, you're not obligated to make a sukkah. Now over here we found the מחלוקת אחרונים, the levush and the Magen Avraham brought down in the ביאור הלכה, דיבור מתחיל הולכי דרכים ביום, whether a person, once he reaches his destination, let's say in a hotel, all he has to do according to the levush is look around, see if you can find a sukkah. If there's a Jewish family that they allow you to sleep in their sukkah, do some effort to find a sukkah. If you see that it's too hard, you can't find, you're exempt and you can sleep in the hotel. But the Magen Avraham says, no, you are obligated to build a sukkah, if that's possible, and even you have to spend some money over it. Now he says the words, the Biur Halacha says, could be that you have to spend some money over it. Some money doesn't mean like all other mitzvot that you have to go up to a certain amount that the Shulchan Aruch brings down, which is a fifth, some say more, of your money, but rather over here you spend some amount. Now, if you could do that, you must do that. Also here, according to Magen Avraham, it would be a little bit hard to do such a thing in a hotel, because a hotel, even if you want to spend as much money as you'll give them, they wouldn't allow you to build a sukkah in their parking place or in the field or in the yard over there, in the garden. They wouldn't allow such a thing. Could be that it's against their code as well. So therefore it comes out that even according to that, it would be hard to obligate a person where he goes traveling. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach says that a person should not travel if he could go before the holiday or after the holiday. He shouldn't go on the holiday. That he learns from a certain Gemara, and therefore he says it's not permitted to go during the holiday. It's a different sevara, different reasoning to say that it's not allowed. But even according to Rav Shlomo Zalman, that's because he could travel before or after. But over here we're dealing with a family that wants to travel now because it's Chol HaMoed, they're staying home, the kids are jumping in the house, they're bored, everybody wants to get out. They don't want to sit and feel that Chol HaMoed is such a burden, it's a hard day that you have to be locked down. Now, we used to be, and many do, feel that a sukkah is such a pleasure, they enjoy the sukkah so much, but kids want to run around. Parents could do that, adults could do that, they could sit in sukkah and learn and spend their time, but kids can't do that. You have to take them out. What are you supposed to do with the kids? Take them out. So according to what we're learning right now, you can't do it before the holiday or after. You want to enhance the pleasure and the happiness and the simchat chag on the chag itself. According to that, it would be permitted. So comes out for everything that we're learning that it is permitted. But don't lose sight of the chag, which means if you take the family for one night, one day, and explain to them the reason that it says in the Gemara, Teshvu ken taduru, so we can go at that short amount of time. But if a person really takes his vacation on Chol HaMoed, he goes for 4 or 5 days to a certain resort, and he doesn't have at all a sukkah over there, so you're missing out on the whole essence of the holiday. That's not right. That's absolutely not right. And also it sends the wrong message to the kids and to yourself as well, that on Chag, we don't have to be in a sukkah, we can go. So therefore, this whole idea needs to be taken very, very much with precaution to know that, let's say you need to go to the zoo. So you're stuck in a zoo without a sukkah. Person should still try very hard to go to a sukkah and show the kids and show the family and show to himself that could be even with those that feel that you're exempt, but we try to do everything to be in a sukkah. But if a person can't find a sukkah, he went to the Bronx Zoo. Where is he going to find a sukkah right now? And it's time to eat. He's becoming hungry. He doesn't have to do anything that's not, he doesn't have to stop eating or something like that, especially those that are not obligated in the sukkah, little kids and women that are not obligated in the sukkah can feel more comfortable with that kula as well.